Welcome back to Railbound. I'm dear darling, and enjoy the ride as we make connections and travel the world together. Well, last time, I don't know, it started me over here, but it looks like we haven't done any of the extra levels in this world, so I suppose that's what we'll be doing today. Oh my word, what is going on here? Okay. Hold on, let's think. You're gonna come over here. We want you to hit that button. Do we want you to hit that button? Maybe we want you to do this. What does this even do? Hold on. And then just go like that. Don't go quite like that. You need to do this so number 2 can hit the button again, and then go like that. Okay, I didn't really narrate my thought process out on that one very well, I'm gonna be honest. I just sort of did it, but you know, hopefully you can see what I was thinking of. Now this looks like an interesting one conceptually. So this is gonna go like that. I just want to know if number 1 gets separated or not. It doesn't. Okay. So, I don't really know what this is gonna do, but we need to find a way to separate them probably. Maybe it makes more sense to do this. Well, that separates them. Now we just got to find out a way to get number 1 and then number 2 out here. So number 2 is going upwards. Number 2 is going upwards. Maybe we do that to get it to join back on. That makes it collide. Let's think. Maybe we do this to get number 2 to join back on. Interesting. I'm not really sure if that's what I want. I don't really know what I want. I just want the 2 to be a bit more separated, right? And then like this you can... Oh, we need another track. Right. Does this work? No, I think number 2 is going to collide like this, right? Oh, maybe not. Oh no, number 2 is going the wrong way. Does this make sense? I don't know if this makes sense. I'm just sort of trial and erroring it now. I'm going to be honest. There's not really much thought of what's going on. But it's basically number 2 needs to get delayed back in. Well, this is interesting. It's not what I wanted, but it's interesting. Does this make any sense? No, that's just a weird loop. No, this just makes 2 go backwards. Where do we need to put? Maybe we do need it to go backwards. Hold on. Oh! We needed it to loop around, I suppose, and come back in. I suppose that the lesson for that one is that since we already had 2 over, the idea was not to get 2 back on the initial track again. It was to just delay time such that 1 could get to the end and then 2 could follow on afterwards. Is that the lesson? I don't really know if that's a lesson or not. It is sort of getting to the stage where I feel like I'm getting like the general gist of a solution, and then I just sort of trial and erroring all other combinations just to see what happens. It's a very experimental game, is probably what I'd say. A bit different from Cosmic Express, where I felt like I didn't really know what I was doing experimentally with it. But this one, it feels like I'm actually, you know, experimenting like a scientist, perhaps. Let's see, I want you to turn off here, but I don't want you to turn off yet. Maybe something like this. I don't know if this is enough delay time. Again, like I say, it's like I got a general idea of what I want to happen, but I'm just sort of sending it, and it just kind of works. Like, I did not conceive of this track in my mind when I was trying to do the answer. I just was like, feels like the only reasonable way these things can connect, and then it just sort of works. I think it's very much the case with these switches, because how difficult it is, I suppose, to really conceive of what the switches are doing. Well, this is interesting. Probably we want something like this. Do we want something like this? That doesn't make sense. I don't really know what we're doing. Ah, we probably want you to come out and then come back in like this, right? And we need you to have already been here. No, we need it the other way around. We need number 1 to go there, number 2 to go the other way. Okay. Is this a level where... Is this a level I'm thinking of? Where it's like yes, it is a level I'm thinking of. Where it's just like I kept solving it, but it kept being like, oh, it's backwards to the way I need it to be. Right. So maybe we don't need to do that. Well, we can't really do that, I suppose. It would be nice if we could just have one go here. Right, because then one will just be like this. And it'll get to the end. Perfect. But number 2, on the other hand... Right, we can't do it like that, obviously. I don't think we can do that just by design of a level. Nor do I think it's what they want us to do. I don't really know if we've got enough track to do something like this, but this does allow 1 to get to the end. Actually, this allows 2 to get to the end as well if we do this, right? No, hold on, that's backwards. Like this, right? I don't know if 1 will take longer. 1 takes too long, like this. But theoretically, I think this works. So maybe 1 needs to join on here, but how? So maybe 2 needs to be the one which goes like this. Okay, here we go. Number 1 just needed a shorter track. And then number 2 saves it, and number 2 will swing back around, it doesn't hit any switches and gets to the end. Right, interesting. It feels a bit like a messy solution, but hey, you know, whatever works, works. Now this has 3 variations, which is interesting. Okay. Well, we'd probably want to do something like this. How does this switch that round? It switches that round to that. But now we have no more tracks. Right, we don't have a lot of tracks to work with. That's gonna go upwards no matter what we do. I can't imagine that's the solution. So it does feel like 1 should go up here. But then something has to hit the button. But then 2 needs to be able to come back up again, but we don't have enough track to allow that to happen anymore. There's only so many things we can really do, to be honest. Which is why this level feels more than any other level like it's going to be a trial and error sort of thing. And then, does this even work? I sort of have a vague idea of what I want to do, but I can't get it to work in my mind. What does this look like when it's split up that way? How can we... Why do we even need a switch? Well, we need a switch to basically get you out, otherwise there's no other way I think number 2 gets released. It just goes around in circles. So we need to hit the switch once, then twice. So maybe something like this. And then I think I'm going to clash like this. I cannot believe that doesn't clash. What I'm more surprised is this hits the button too many times. Does this work? This works. What am I doing? I feel like I very much over-engineered that path. That doesn't look right. Go back. Hold on. I need to have a look at that again. So this just needs to take that path, and this just needs to take that path. So we don't need that connection there. Right? Surprisingly minimalist solution, actually, just looking at it like this. In fact, this is basically what we did before. It's just we have... It's the same sort of concept, isn't it? Except for, I think last time we had it go like this, so we ran out of tracks. Right? But here it's... This track is doing double duty. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Surprisingly straightforward, that one. So this one traps it. So you need to hit it again, which we can't do like that, because then you're just going to loop around. So that's inevitable. We can't stop that. And you can't do anything, I suppose, once you're in this position. So number one has to hit the button again. Which the only way I can think of doing it efficiently would be to loop around. Maybe you can loop around again as well. Hold on. And then you just go in like that. No, hold on. Like this. You loop around, you get set free. Then you loop around and set yourself free, basically. That's an interesting one. that felt a bit more experimental, but there was also not so much I felt like you could do in that one. Right. It's actually quite hard to hit the button in the first place in this one. I assume you're going to have to hit the button, and then you're going to loop around. No, that doesn't make sense. What? Maybe you hit the button, actually. And then you loop around. Why do I want you to hit the button? Hit the button again. Wait, what? No, that's not what I wanted. I don't even know what I want anymore. I'm getting confused. Now I'm just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks, which is not really the best method, methinks. I do feel like you're meant to hit the button. I don't really know what we want to happen though is. We want the button to be hit. So if you hit the button, presumably we want you just to like delay time. Which is quite difficult for you to directly go in here, right? Because we can't do this. Because then you crash before you get there, but we can't also do this, can we? Oh, we can. But now you need to get out, but we don't have enough track. So it's like we kind of need to do this on a smaller scale, which we can't do because that's doing too much double duty. So methinks that number one... No, one of them has to go in through the side, through the top and the bottom, right? What's the point of this track? It's going to be flipped up and it's going to do something like that, probably. There's no point of that track then. If I'm doing it like this, right? And then it has to be something like this. Because, hold on. The general idea of what I think needs to happen is one needs to get delay time and get in here after two's hit the button, then two needs to go backwards around the track and then join up to where one is. That seems very difficult. So maybe it's not like that in the slightest. Well, this have number two do that, and then number two crashes. What am I even doing? Number two goes down like this. What even is this? This is just like the weirdest loop possible. It worked? What? I thought that was a loop. How did I don't even know what I did here. This is genuinely just a guess, and it's very unsatisfying as a result. Right, I guess we're slowly getting desynced because they're slowly taking different loops, right? Because they're one step apart now, and now they're like 3 steps apart, and now they're like 5 steps apart, which means that it's delayed enough time that 2 can hit the button and 1 go there. So basically, it's a story of we need the button hit once, but they both need to be on the same track. So we need to devise a track where every time a button is hit, they get delayed further and further away from each other, until finally one is far enough behind that when the button gets flipped, it doesn't have time, it hasn't reached this part yet and gets sent into the end, and thus 2 can follow on onwards. This is nonsensical. This cannot be the solution. How is anyone meant to get the solution? Okay, to be fair, I don't think this track is necessary. So maybe it's not too bad, looking at it like this. I see, actually, this makes it a lot clearer. Okay, so basically the concept of this level, as I understand it, is that these 2 need to follow the same track into the end, but we need to separate 1 and 2. But the only way we can really do that is by delaying 1 further and further backwards. Because we need them to come in through the top here, through A, and then go to the end, like that. So they have to enter through the top. Both of them. Otherwise the thing is closed, right? You could wait, but I'd imagine the track switching underneath them is probably not good. So then the general idea is to use this one to increase the distance between these 2, because currently they're too close to each other. This button is too far away from here, so we can't click it with one of them and have the other go across a track without them being far enough away from each other. But due to the setup, it's very difficult to get them not on the same track. So we have them both go around the same track. We do this as a little turn, but then we use that turn to delay time, because if you notice when we go around the track here, we turn around, so now they're in the correct orientation. Number 2 doesn't take our track, but number 1 does. So it adds on 2 steps to their journey, adds on another 2 steps. Now 1 is 5 behind 2, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 behind that. So then when 2 hits this button, 1 is not yet on this track, because of the additional travel journey added on here, I think. And thus 1 gets sent to the end, and then number 2, no one hits the button again. So then number 2 just also follows on afterwards. That is not intuitive in the slightest. That is very hard to figure out. I cannot even imagine puzzling that out normally. I very much sort of just got it by guessing. Right, what we got going on here? Well, this probably wants to happen. Maybe this wants to happen. And then number 2 goes forward, and probably we need to like delay time or something for it to just go back around. Ah. Maybe we don't delay that much time? We need to delay enough time such that number 1 doesn't hit that button. Okay, that's not possible. So maybe we just like go up here. So then number 2 can hit the button twice again. Yeah, okay. Oh, wait, I didn't actually... I was meant to do that. Interesting. I mean, this one feels like it was given basically based on how many tracks they gave us. I was like, we have so many tracks left. There's no way we're not meant to connect it up again. And there's so many permanent tracks there. There's only so many connections we can actually make. Right, so number 2 gets stuck. So we'll do the good old turnaround with number 1. To free you. We'll send number 1 to the end, and then we'll send number 2 to the end. I don't know if number 1 might travel for too long. Oh, no, it just works. Okay, sometimes the timing works out. it looks like a lot closer than I don't know if it's meant to be, but I think that's a good place to round this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. This has been Railbound. I've been Dear Darling. I keep trying to call it Unrailed in my mind. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials down below. Hope we see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.